All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Hank Strange. This is Strangerpalooza. Today we are in, what campground is this? What fairground?
Elkhart.
Elkhart Fairgrounds. We're doing the COA, which is Coachman Owners Association Rally. And we're actually here in Rover Gear / Vandermoon, right, booth, and we're here with Ryan.
Hey.
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, Peter's not here.
He's not.
So
He's
you're
in
running the
Poland
show.
Right now. Yep.
So we figured we'd come talk to these guys. We do have Rover Gear stuff on our van. We don't have any Vandermoon stuff yet.
We'll get you hooked up.
Yeah, you know, that could happen. But really, the star of why we're here talking to Ryan is this van, which has kind of got a story to explain it. You
Sure
wanna,
does.
First of all, tell the folks out there, you know, what you do for Rover Gear, etc.
Yeah, so I do operations management at Rover Vans. So I actually just started this job about a month ago. I've been in the van industry for about 6 years now, so I'm, you know, very, very comfortable in the van industry. And I actually worked for Peter about 3 years ago. I was actually his first employee, which is pretty funny. But yeah, it feels good to be back. You know, feels good to be wearing.
He's making some jumps lately, right?
Yeah.
Good thing you're here now.
Yeah, definitely. You know, growing the business and everything.
Yeah.
Our partnership with Coachman has been really great, supplying accessories for them. We do the full van builds as well. So full custom bespoke van builds we do as well.
And I know that right now you guys have stuff for the ProMaster vans.
Yep.
But stepping up to Transit, I believe there's some stuff starting to come out, right?
Yeah, we actually started with accessories for Transit. So we've got a pretty complete product. We've got a pretty complete product line of rear carriers, ladder tire carriers, accessory racks with boxes. We also do running boards as well as roof racks. Not just for Transit, we also offer all of those products for Sprinter and ProMaster as well.
So I think with Coachman, you started putting out stuff for the ProMaster. And then I think now we're going into Transit. I don't know if we're also going to be doing Sprinter.
It's in talks. Yeah. So yeah, definitely at some point, you know, we would love to expand our partnership with Coach.
So now I'm going to tease you guys a little bit before we break down the van and all that. Let's just take a quick look at what you guys have here. So what are we looking at? What are these panels?
Yeah. So this is a new product that will be offered in the Coachman ProMaster here coming up soon. So it will be available add-on. This is the rear cargo door organizers. This replaces the rear plastic panels.
Okay, so this would be inside of that.
Inside, the flap here is for the window, so you can close that up. You know, when you want to close your window. Yep, it's a blackout there. Offers a little bit of insulation, which is really nice.
Yeah, and then easily just get it out of the way.
Easily get it out of the way for sure.
There we go.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm doing it right. Yeah.
Just like that, and then there's a hook on the bottom side.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Even I could do it with Lola's help.
And then it's got the organizer pouches at the top there. And then the other one that we have here is the lower door panel. So it's two pieces for the rear door of the ProMaster. But, you know, obviously in a van, you guys know space is at a premium.
Absolutely.
This is taking advantage of sort of a dead space on the back doors of the ProMaster. It's very, very useful to utilize that space.
Yeah, I like it. I think it adds a different look for folks who are looking for something a little bit more rugged. And so these are the same kind of panels right here. I think we're looking at.
It's a driver's side and a passenger side. Same thing with this product here. This is available for Sprinter, ProMaster, and Transit.
So this one works on the Sprinter?
It's a different shape for the Sprinter, but sort of the same design. So we do have these available on our website. They've been very popular.
And then now we're looking at tire carrier.
Yep. So this is an option right now on the Coachman, on the Nova model. So you can get this directly from Coachman, from either the dealer or from the factory on the vans already installed. If you've already got a van and you don't have this on it, you can either install it yourself. It's really easy. All it requires is just one hole to be drilled in the back door. But we've got good instructions and a video tutorial tutorials showing you how to do it, or you can have these installed at our facility up in Chicago.
Okay, very nice. And I think
install these
I've
for
seen
you.
like Sunshine State RV doing some
Sunshine
of that.
State RV
Yeah.
for sure. They do it, and there's a couple of other RV dealers
Yeah.
who also offer installations. on
Absolutely.
these.
And I
So,
have this,
nice.
and it works great.
Yeah, it sure does. So this is actually our new version of this ladder. So the previous version had 2 prongs on the bottom.
Oh, that's right.
that
You're
hold
right.
The tire.
Yes.
This one sort of has this sort of bucket sort of shaped holder for the tire on the bottom, but this allows you to have a couple of different tire sizes,
Okay.
whereas the prongs were kind of limiting with
What you can
with
do.
the tire size.
We'll put a link or something in there for you guys if you want to see more options.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump to talking about. I think you told me this is a Westfalia tribute we're looking at.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
So give us the walk around. We can start
Sure.
from outside.
Yeah.
When I came up, was asking you if it's a Nissan.
Yeah,
What is
it's-
it? Because
It's
I mean,
not
it says VW, but
Yep. So what this is a 2015 Volkswagen Crafter Westfalia Tribute.
Okay.
So what it actually is, and what my title says, is Mercedes Sprinter.
Okay.
So this generation of Sprinter shared the same platform and was built in the same factory as the Volkswagen Crafter. In Germany, in Dusseldorf, both the Mercedes Sprinter and the Volkswagen Crafter built on the same production
Even though they're
line.
2 different groups, so they were partnering up.
They had a
to-
joint partnership.
Oh, okay.
So if you remember a couple of years ago, Mercedes and Dodge had this sort of
Yes.
same partnership,
Right.
where you could actually purchase a Dodge Sprinter or even a Freightliner Sprinter,
Yes.
but they were all built in the same factory, sort of the same idea as that.
Okay.
But in everywhere but North America, you could buy either a Mercedes Sprinter or a Volkswagen Crafter. So I purchased a Mercedes Sprinter, imported everything that's required to sort of turn it into a VW Crafter.
So swap out the parts. What? So the original chassis, what year is it?
2015.
2015. Okay, cool. It's a very unique light setup.
Yep.
And the grill and all that kind of stuff. Very cool.
So it's different than the Sprinter. The front fenders are different. The hood is different. The grill and the front bumper and all the lights.
Yeah, still got a bumper step.
Still has the step there, so it makes it really easy to clean the bugs off the
Yeah.
windshield, off that massive windshield.
Right. Yeah. It makes it easier to get there and get it. I'm assuming you got stickers or made stickers to put up here, like this says Westfalia.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. This is what it would have looked like, right?
Yeah. If if Westfalia actually sold, a camper version on the Crafter, they do offer the VW California in Europe. Unfortunately, is not sold in California for whatever reason, but they do offer a camper van direct from the factory. Like I said, everywhere but North America.
Yeah.
Which is is crazy
Makes no
because
sense.
you come to these rallies and you see all these Class B vans, and that's a Class B van,
Right.
and still they can't justify actually importing them themselves.
I
Even
think they're
though-
worried that folks here won't go that small. Maybe.
Well,
I
they
don't know.
do have a full-size one.
Oh, they do?
Like
okay.
this.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
yeah, they do offer the smaller van, with the pop top and everything. But yeah, they do offer. It's called the Grand California.
Yeah.
And it's the full-size van version that's built on the current generation VW Craft.
And I know Westfalia is back out, but I think under the Road Trek
Yep.
umbrella.
Yep.
It's kind of separate, but I guess it's also, that whole thing going on with the IP. And I see even your hubcaps and stuff all have Volkswagen on them.
Yep. There is
You must
no.
confuse the cops.
Yeah,
If you're
definitely.
getting a ticket, the guy's like, what am I writing this ticket to?
I actually, I had to do a VIN inspection, in order to get it registered. And when I showed up in this and they looked at the VIN number and ran it against their system, they were like, wait a minute. And then I had to give them the whole story.
Yeah, because if you go to court and you're like, Your Honor, I have a VW. No, actually, immediately you're like, no, I don't have a VW.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
If the ticket is out to a VW, you're like, I don't have a VW. I didn't know where that came.
I like to tell people it's a kit car, like the old dune buggies, right?
Yeah.
That were built on Volkswagen chassis, or like Shelby Cobras that are built with a fiberglass body on like a Mustang chassis. Those vehicles are still titled as Mustangs, right? But they've got all the badging on them that says Shelby Cobra, and you know, obviously it looks like a Shelby.
It's super unique, super unique. I've never seen one. And so you cut the holes in the side of this to make this, or like the windows and stuff placement was here already?
Yeah, when I bought it, it was just a cargo van. It was actually a plumber's van before I bought it. Bought it used. So yeah, it didn't have any windows in it. So I cut the holes in it, installed the windows, installed the ladder, air conditioner, fan, you know, all the
So
good,
you've got stuff up on the roof?
all the good stuff.
So we've got Crafter, TDI.
Yep. So I actually, one of my good friends lives in the UK, and I worked with him. He works for a Volkswagen dealership. I messaged him and I was like, hey, Pete, you know, I'm working on this project. I'm transforming my Sprinter into a Crafter. He was really into it. You know, so he was able to source all the badges
cool.
for me. So he sent me over the badges, the tail lights.
So this is not the original Sprinter taillight?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, those are Crafter specific, so he was able to send those over. It was just a direct swap. I did have to change some of the wiring around for the tail lights.
Let's see what's in the back here before we go in.
It's a little messy.
see your setup,
I'm here for the week.
It's being used.
Staying in the van.
You're living and working out of this. You're actually doing it.
Exactly.
Which you said you've been doing for a while.
Exactly.
With this rig or with a different rig?
Before this, I had a VW Vanagon. So I'm a big Volkswagen guy.
I see.
So, you know, I've been,
Where's the
been
tattoo
a VW guy. I don't have one. Everybody asks that. Yeah, it's you know, kind of an obsession.
No, that's cool. I love it, man. Yeah. So what was your thoughts here? Is this a kit you have in, or you built this?
It's not. Myself and one of my friends designed this interior together. He's a designer, and so we worked on this together. And sort of, since I've been in the van industry for 6 years, I've seen a lot of vans, and you know, having another van before this that I built out myself, you know, I used that inspiration and what I've seen, you know, from other van builders and from DIYers and stuff like that, because I've had my hands on so many vans.
Yes.
And sort of just figured out what was the ideal sort of van for me, and you know what I need. So you know, a lot of folks think that they need an interior shower, full-time interior shower. It's not really something that I need in a van, so you won't see it in here.
Okay.
But you know.
So what do you do for that? What are your solutions for that? Like, we're at this campground. There are showers here.
We got showers here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that what you find most often? Are you doing truck showers?
Campgrounds, truck stops. You know, I'll admit I do the sponge bath every once in a while.
Yeah. There's what is it? Shower in a bag.
Yep.
Lola
exactly.
and I use that when we're trying to conserve water.
Exactly.
Or just in a rush.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I do have on the rear here. I do have a rear. Whoop. It's already pressurized.
Yeah.
I won't show it.
I believe it's running.
I do have a rear shower. It's just a little tight in there, but yeah, it does pull out. And so if I wanted to, I could take a shower, you know, out the rear doors here.
So I can see you've got storage here, and then you've got a height. Do you typically have a bicycle in here, or how's that
so,
working?
you know, I'm a big mountain biker.
Okay.
So coming from Colorado, you know, did a lot of mountain biking out there. I do have L-track in the floor, so I can put bike fork mounts in there, and then put 2 mountain bikes underneath the bed, even with the bed open. So the bed actually is like a telescopic bed, and it sort of breaks down to half of the width, and it is also removable as well. If I were moving or you know whatever, I could take the bed out entirely
and go back to cargo mode.
And go back to cargo mode. All the cabinets, they're all Baltic birch in here. I have all of my electrical stuff on this side of the van. I've got my porta potty down here. I really only ever use this for emergencies. I bought this during COVID because a lot of public bathrooms were shut down during
Right,
COVID.
yes.
Some more storage down here, 2 more storage compartments up front there.
What kind of battery setup do you have? We don't necessarily have to take a look at it now, but
Yeah.
just out of curiosity.
Yeah, so I built the electrical system in this, so it's got 400 amp hours of lithium in it. So that'll run this AC unit. It's a VLIT AC unit, so 12 volt. It'll run that AC unit for about 8 hours on high, not supplemented by shore power or solar,
that's
which
pretty good.
I do have. I've got 200 watts of solar on the roof,
Okay.
and then I've got shore power charging as well, and then I do have alternator charging.
How do you find the VLIT? How is that? I've
It's been-
just recently started seeing
Yeah,
that.
they're a new company, you know, in the game. You know, I had my doubts about the 12 volt AC. The output of it is less than you would get in a 110 volt unit. You know, I think it's only like 9,000 BTUs, whereas like a 110 volt unit, you can get up to like 16,000 BTU
Yeah.
output. So almost double that.
Right.
But the savings that you get with that lesser output is I don't need to have an inverter, you know, wasting, you know, my energy by converting 12 volt into 110 volts. So there's no lossage there. The low sort of draw from that AC unit, you know, sort of makes it worth it to me. So I've used it a bunch now. I've been down in Florida using it. I've been
That's
out
what
in
I was going to ask.
Colorado
Yeah, have you
using
hit
it.
some humidity?
Yeah, down in Florida, I was there just a couple of weeks ago. It was like 90 degrees with, you know, 100% humidity.
Yeah, I know. I know how it is. That's where we live.
Yeah, exactly. And I had that thing cranking during the day, and it wasn't 68 degrees inside the van. I would say it was probably like 75 degrees, but the big difference is that it wasn't humid inside the van.
Right.
So I would say, you know, it's a brown van, right? It's a dark color, so it of course is gonna, you know, absorb a lot more of that sunlight and that heat than a white van would.
It's the trade-off. You got to balance there. Yeah.
I thought that it did really well. It was great once the sun went down, you know, to just take that edge off and get the humidity out, and you know, I had no issues sleeping with it. So I'd give it 5 stars.
Okay.
I think it's fantastic.
If you're
for the
looking for a
prices.
12 volt.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. I haven't had the experience, so I really just wanted to know how yours is, because I know you use this.
Yeah. All the water system is on this side. It's inside the cabinet, so it is. You know, I don't have to worry about it freezing. You know, when it gets cold outside, and then just a bunch of storage over there.
Is it typically just you on the road?
It's myself and my girlfriend. We also have a dog and we have a cat. So
a full family.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
the 4 of us will do trips in it. I designed this with the dog and the cat in mind.
Yeah.
I designed it as well to, you know, accommodate my friends and my family, which is why it's got the seat in the back here with the seat belts. What's cool about this, there's a couple of things that are actually cool about this. One, it folds down into a bed. So you can sleep a full-size adult on this if you wanted. The other thing is that it bolts into this L-track here, and so I can move this seat anywhere along this L-track.
Or
if
take
I
it
want
out,
to.
like you were saying.
Or take it out, or I can even put it when the bed is in the rear position, when it's telescoped back and is you know, it is halved essentially.
Okay.
I can have the seat in the back. So in that setup, then when this is folded down into a bed, it's like bunk beds.
Oh.
Right. So you could sleep 2 people upstairs
I
and
see.
one adult downstairs.
That's another benefit of this being up so high.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, cool.
Exactly. Cool. So yeah, I do often bring friends along camping and stuff like that, and so you know, I did want it to you know, accommodate sort of anything that I can really think of, and like I said, having all the experience that I
you've
that I
seen
do,
so many
I've
scenarios.
Seen so many scenarios.
Your brain is
and-
probably like a matrix right now.
Oh, yeah,
because
for
everyone,
sure.
I'm sure people have been just torturing you, and then you've seen the results of the choices.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
So come in here, and I see we got a fridge here.
Yep.
And then this is your galley. This all you built, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so built it and did the design. It's all in the sort of inspired by the old Westphalia campers. So the Baltic birch construction with the sort of walnut laminate, you know, is what the old Westies had. had in the 60s and the 70s. That's the van that I grew up in, was a 79 VW Westie.
Okay, so you were like
that my
traveling.
parents had.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
That's
so-
where the love started.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
You know, this is very much, you know, directly inspired by that, but, you know, not having to worry that, you know, you're going to break down.
Yeah, this is a palace.
And yeah, right.
Those are
exactly.
awesome, man. You can't
Exactly.
like see those on the road and
Yeah.
not go, wow, you know, that brings back memory.
Yeah. Well, you know why Volkswagen partnered with Westfalia originally, right?
No, why?
It was because the vans kept breaking down all the time that they had to give the people a place to make their lunch while they were waiting for the tow truck to show up.
Okay. Nice.
So that's why the
Really?
Westie was
Oh,
no,
truly?
not really.
Oh,
not
oh,
really.
okay. You had me going. I mean, those were very simple engines and stuff like that.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
And
definitely.
completely different times.
Definitely, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I see you've got one right there on that pin. Sorry.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, if you-
It's an isotherm refrigerator, 130 liter. So it's got those small little freezer inside there with a bunch of ice cream bars and stuff, keeping my ice cream cold.
Yeah, can you get
even
this
though
open
it's-
with this chair like
in
that?
this configuration, which I don't typically have it in, but because I was transporting all this stuff out here, usually the seat is in the rear location. So then it's much easier to access the galley and everything. But I can open the refrigerator enough.
Oh,
I
there
can
you go.
get
Yeah,
to-
that's good enough.
I can get to everything inside of there.
Yeah.
I can also fold the seat forward and then slide it back slightly on the rails so that I can open it up fully and get inside of there. But this is, you know, this is totally fine for right now. Just camping for the couple of days that we're here.
And up here, it looks you have a Dometic combo sync.
Yep. Those are pretty hard to find in the U.S.
I don't think I've ever
surprisingly.
seen that. Yeah.
So that I also imported from the UK and then converted it from, I forget what their gas standard is called in Europe, but I converted it to the US propane standard. The stove uses the little 1 pound green propane bottles. That I can easily refill, from a standard 20
Yeah, you can get those at Walmart or any sporting goods. I love propane, but I run into issues because I've got the tank that has to get refilled. And whenever I go, the guy who does it is never there.
Yep.
The key is not there.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. I've run into that issue before too, and I've heard of that being an issue.
Right.
I don't mind the propane either. A lot of folks have issues with propane. If it's done right, then there's nothing really to worry about. And a lot of the manufacturers are switching away from propane and going to induction, which if you have a large enough battery bank, is totally fine.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the propane, which is why I have
I agree
it
with
in
you.
here.
It's so efficient.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
much more efficient.
Exactly.
Your window shades here, they look built in.
Yeah, so these were also imported from the UK. This is a product, they're called Remus blinds. So yeah, they're integrated into the door panels and the A-pillars, so the plastic
That's very
A-pillars
cool.
of the van. So
Yeah, so you're not having to like take those all the way out and store them.
correct. That was sort of my thought here is a lot of the van builders in the US supply magnetic window shades.
Yeah.
And you never really think about it, but the magnetic shades, they're pretty bulky when they're folded up and they
Yes.
take up a lot of space inside the van.
Yeah, and it's always a thing to do it.
It's always a thing.
Yeah,
for
and you
sure.
get there late at night or whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Forget it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So these are quick deployment. So if I'm camping, I live in Chicago. If I'm camping in the city, I can pull up to a parking spot and easily shut those blinds. Pretty quickly. They're not insulated, but they are reflective on the outside. So they do reject a lot of the sun's light. And a lot of that heat coming through. You're standing up there. It's obviously not too bad.
And the sun's beaming down.
Up there, but yeah, those came from the UK. I don't know why they aren't sold in the US because they're a great product and a great solution.
It would be cool to see that for the ProMaster, for the Transit,
Exactly.
the Sprinter, yeah. And then I
Exactly.
noticed you have like the blackout shades. I guess that is incorporated into your kind of a pizza oven that you have up here.
Yeah, the pizza oven, yeah. So I do have the blackout shade, the cab divider sort of curtain there on the cab shelf. That's, if I am trying to be really stealth, and I don't want to close the blinds, I can just close that curtain and partition off the front end of the van so that, if somebody's walking by, they can still see the driver driver and passenger seat and not
Yeah, it
suspect
doesn't look like an RV.
that somebody's camping in it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it does once you have the blinds closed, it does sort of look like,
Yeah.
you know, somebody might be camping in it. So
Yeah.
just another, you know, added level of stealth that is nice to have.
Yeah, very nicely
So-
done. Do both of your seats turn around? I know
Yep.
right now you've got the driver, obviously.
Yep, both seats swivel here. So, you know, like I said, this van is built to sleep for or seat for. So it can also dine for. So I don't know what you guys are up to later, but you know, you can come by. We can have dinner in here if you'd like.
cool.
But I've got a table that mounts in the floor here, and then 4 people, once this driver's seat is swiveled around, 4 people can sit around the table pretty comfortably.
And then my final thing here is going towards driving. Is that actually a Volkswagen steering wheel or just a badge on it?
That is a badge on
Okay,
it. So
okay.
yeah, underneath, if you pull that badge off, it is the Mercedes.
star.
It's the Mercedes star. Yeah.
So, and then this is automatic, right?
Yep, it is.
Okay, and
Yeah.
diesel, obviously. Yeah. How is it driving?
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic.
You don't have to do DEF on a 2015, do you?
You do.
Oh, you
yeah,
do?
it does use DEF, which is, you know, it's a mixed bag. It's great for the tailpipe emissions, but you know, Mercedes has sort of had their issues with DEF problems and stuff. But so far, you know, it's been really reliable, especially because, you know, I'm used to driving a 40-year-old Volkswagen Westie.
Right.
That, you know, so this is like a whole nother level for me. you know?
Yes. So is this 4-cylinder?
It's a 6.
V6? It's a 6? Okay, nice. So you got decent power.
Yep, and it's a turbo.
My big question is when you go to a Mercedes dealership, or do you just do your own, you know?
I do a lot of my own maintenance
Okay.
on it. You know, filter changes and stuff like that, tire rotations. You know, I'll do myself. But I have taken it to Mercedes a couple of times, and they absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's cool.
They lose their minds about it, and you know, they love to see it. But you know, like I said, the VIN number is still associated with a Sprinter. So
Yeah.
once they type in the VIN number, then there's no question, you know, about what it actually is. But
Yeah.
but I had a great relationship with a dealer out in Colorado, and they would love seeing it every time. And
Yeah. No, it's nice.
the service manager, he would show me that all of his techs like would go out and they would take pictures of it,
Right.
and then he would show me all the pictures of it like getting
Yeah.
worked on. And they actually did a group photo one time where all of the Sprinter techs came around it and took a photo of it while it was back in the
That's
shop
awesome.
getting an oil change.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's fantastic.
So yeah, they love it, they enjoy it, and you know, it's an oddity that you know, most in the U.S. aren't used to seeing, and you know, coming to events like this too. You know, it just draws a crowd.
Yeah, even Nick Recchio at Coachman was like, you have to go look at this thing and make a video.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome.
Yeah. It was funny because he came over by me too, and he was just like he came walking down the street here and just like saw this and then turned and then just walked right in, and I was like, all right,
That's how he is. I don't see GMs like that often. You know, he'll probably be in here with a tape measure, taking pictures and stuff like that. Yeah. Has anyone asked you to help them make one of these?
I've done that in the past, on my own, but not recently. We do build vans at Rover.
Yeah.
So we do offer fully custom bespoke builds. So if you're looking for a Sprinter or a ProMaster or a Transit camper built out to your spec, we can absolutely do something for you that's very similar to this.
I think I said it earlier. We have Rover gear on our van, and I've been there in Chicago actually camping out.
Yeah.
At your facility there. I could tell folks out there, there's a lot of cool things coming.
Yeah.
Peter has that kind of mind.
Sure.
So if the folks out there want to know more about Rover Vans as well as you, where are you guys on social media? How can they communicate?
Yeah, we're at Rover Vans on Instagram. We also are at rovervans.com. And you can see all of our products on there, our tire carriers, our accessory racks, our side steps, roof racks. All the Vandermoon products are on our website, rovervans.com. For me, for the van, I am on Instagram. It's at VW Ryan_in. So same as what my license plate is.
Oh, okay, very cool.
So pretty easy to find. Tons of cool vans.
Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's fun meeting you, Ryan.
Yeah, you too.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a fun tour. I mean, this was fantastic. You know, I love to look at builds that folks put together, and I can really see that, Ryan, you've been doing this, and you have a knowledge of this. So you're making Colorado proud. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks to Lola. We're out of here. Peace. Boop.